welcome back to another Just 5 Mins. How the heck are you doing? This should be within 5 minutes because it's quite a quick one, but it's I think a really quite interesting one, and it reminds me a little bit of a project of a good friend of mine, Tim Abel. I'll put the link below because it is worth a look at that as well. A project called Schema Explorer, which was great, really, or is great, sorry, I should say, to point at a database. There's a few database types. I believe it's open source now, actually. I'll have Tim correct me if I'm wrong, but what it'll do, it'll visually show you that schema, and you can zoom in and zoom out, etc. Well, this one is called JSON crack. Stop the giggles, please. But since I actually stumbled across it, there is another editor, another web. Well, I think it's the main website called Hero Wand, and that has got the same editor, which is JSON. So JavaScript object notation for those who need to know. But again, when you're looking at all this sort of JSON data, you know, even in a good editor like Notepad++, VS Code, whatever it might be, sometimes it's still difficult to see all the structures, especially with JSON, where you've got obviously embedded objects, object collections, arrays, things like that. So really what JSON crack does, it visualizes that JSON, shows you the JSON one side on the left hand side, but visualizes it in like a schema map. Is probably the best way to say it, and you can sort of zoom in, zoom out, and as well you can actually click on each of those nodes. So if there's a node that's like, I don't know, customer orders or something, it can select that out, but it can give you all the pertinent details from that. But interestingly, since I found that site, or stumbled across it in all fairness, I then went to the site and it said, oh, there's another editor. So I think they started with just the JSON data, but Hero Wand has now got essentially it's the same thing. It's the same thing for JSON, but the great thing is you can also pull up things like XML, okay, or a CSV, which again, in my line of work, it's really useful to visually see that data. And that's the interesting part. Also YAML as well, if you're in the YAML world, and something called TOML, or TOML, okay, which I'll be honest, I've got no idea what that one is, but I'm sure ChatGPT will know, won't it? But anyway, jokes aside, but it is really good. So I think the company behind this started out with the JSON specific one, but then realized, hang on a minute, we could use it. And for me, in my line of work, JSON and XML, possibly YAML sometimes, but XML and JSON, absolutely. It's really, really nice. As I say, it means you can pan around, zoom in, zoom out, look at the data, but you can literally zoom and edit a certain node as well. So rather than looking through reams of JSON and text, you've got a really nice visual way of doing it. Okay, there's quite a lot of stuff in there. You can search, you can pan, you can download, print that display. It's very feature rich, and it's also open source. Again, from what I can see, it's on GitHub. You can download it. I think, if I'm right, I could be wrong, but it seems to be NextJS that it's being developed with. Certainly one of the sections I looked at. But you can also download it. You can use it yourself. You can embed it in your products or websites. And one of the really nice touches, I think, is that for me, using VS Code quite a bit, you can there's an extension, of course, for VS Code. So it's great. I think it's definitely well worth a look there. And that's what I've got for this time around. So we will catch you on the next one.